Okay, so you need updates in the pettiest fight possible between two of the most unlikable entities possible. Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, and the Disney Corporation. And this is one of those like let them fight moments. And I've definitely felt like I don't care about either of these people. But like Ron DeSantis has never, written a hit that's made me like cry every time I hear it. Like if I hear a song from Pocahontas, all of the problems included, I'm like, oh my God, what is around the river bend? I don't know. So I'm going to side with Disney just generally, but also this is all stemming from the fact that Disney stood up against their Don't Say Gay bill. And by stood up, I mean, they said they didn't like it. It's not like they picked up and moved. It's not like they did anything really that harmful to Florida, but they said something. DeSantis didn't like it. And it seems like DeSantis this week is willing to just be like, oh, I'm cool. I'm done. We're fine. We're fine. So again, this is after, let's see if Disney's going along with this, but here's what Ron DeSantis said in a CNBC interview about Disney, and he reveals something that I honestly didn't know about him.
My wife and I, we got married at Walt Disney World, okay? And so it's not like we're opposed. I mean, we've appreciated working with them over the years, but I would just say, go back to what you did well. I think it's going to be the right business decision and all that. But where we are today, we've basically moved on. They're suing the state of Florida. They're going to lose that lawsuit. So what I would say is drop the lawsuit.
Just drop it. I'm basically over it. I'm basically over it. He and his wife got married at Walt Disney World. I had no, like, what? So he's like a Disney boy. Mm-hmm. He's like a mega fan.
Listen, the you're gonna lose is where I stay, because it's like when the cops kill somebody and then the cops investigate the cops to see if it's, you know what I mean? That's what I heard there when he said you're gonna sue Florida and you're gonna lose. You had that man has that complex of, he's trying to turn America into Gilead, but he's sitting there telling you you're gonna lose because I'm judge, jury, and executioner. Like it's you're don't waste your time. Drop it and move forward. You can't win a lawsuit against Florida. I am Florida. That's what I hear when I heard that.
Absolutely. And they're also countersuing in federal court, which they may not lose in, but it's true that in locally. So just backstory or like what's going on right now. Disney's not having any of it. Disney's like, that's cool, Ron, that you're past it. I'm not. So in the case initiated by the Board of Supervisors picked by DeSantis to oversee Walt Disney World's special tax district, remember that's that reaction to their statement about hating the anti-gay bill is what kicked this all off. The entertainment giant on Thursday, this was last week, filed a series of counterclaims, including for breach of contract and violations of the Florida Constitution over its due process and free speech rights. Again, a corporation with free speech rights. It moved for damages and an order forcing the district to comply with the terms of the development agreements. All of those are like tax breaks and whatnot. Now, this is because after Disney kind of pulled the carpet from underneath the Florida Tourism Board by changing the laws in the immediate surroundings of Disney World, saying like, actually, we don't have to abide by any of this board in the first place. Blah, 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 back and forth. There's just suits and countersuits, but it seems like they don't want to, like, Disney's not trying to let it go. Disney's like, we have damages. You've hurt us. You've hurt and in some ways, it's less about the like actual tax breaks and it's less about what the corporation is doing in Florida, which I can't imagine I don't like giving any corporation domain over fucking anything. But it's also, I would think that like, it's about their brand. Like the brand is definitely, he's made this his thing for a year now. It's been nothing but Disney is woke. Disney's trying to turn your kids into, I don't know, transgender prison abolitionists, which is like tight, but like that's what he's been saying. And now all of a sudden he wants to take his foot off the brake and be like, or gas and be like, no, I'm good. No, he can't have it.
Yeah, they have employees who are queer. They have people who, a great percentage of people who go there who have children who are queer, and they have been attacking those people over and over again. They appropriated the term woke from Black activists that, use that word for to fight for equity, equality, and justice, and now they've turned it into this thing. I've talked about it in my comedy when I talk about performative wokeism. But I just think that they've done such a great disservice to a lot of people. A lot of damages are done, and Disney, regardless of where their heart is, if they're good business people and they know where their bread is buttered, they have to stand up for the people who work there and the people who go there and should be comfortable being there, not feeling. Florida already has the worst marketing reps on the planet, with Twitter and Netflix doing a whole show about a Florida man. There is just a whole, the whole marketing and promotions program over in the Florida section of the country is already, very telling about a lot of the problems that dwell there. Disney has been separate from all that foolishness for all the time. It's a place where people go with their families and shouldn't have to feel weird about having their queer kids or being queer parents and having to feel scared for their safety above all things.
Yeah, there's like travel warnings against going to Florida if you are gay, and it's just like, no, this is. And you're totally right. I mean, the reason I say also let them fight is that, again, it's a massive corporation against Ron DeSantis. And yeah, one of them is a fascist, an anti-gay fascist, and the other one is like a corporation that horribly underpays everyone who works for them, including people are on strike right now for better pay and for Disney to comply. But also the park, people who work at the park, the cast members who work at the park. So I don't really care, but I'm also like, corporations aren't going woke. People are diverse and also believe they are allies, and they are also themselves part of the LGBTQ community. So corporations are going to go where people are saying, this is where I live. This is who I am. This is like my shit. And like, they're not going to buy your square ass, let's go back to just doing Cinderella over 1 million times, or like Snow White, although I guess now they're all mad because like maybe Snow White has more consent in her remake story, and she's Latina, which is like, uh-oh. Yeah. But so here's my thing. DeSantis is losing. He's not going to be president. That's why he's doing this, is because he's like, oh shit, this isn't working for me. Like, turning on Disney hasn't worked. I'm being sued. The state of Florida is getting sued. I think Disney has a little bit more money than maybe this state does. And absolutely, I'm not going to be president. So I can't even use this as like a feather in my cap because I'm not even winning this fight. So I got to just go back and be man from Florida and get along with this massive corporation. I better fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, things aren't lining up. There's something with him that it makes me feel like, not that just he's disconnected, but I don't think he reads the cues. He can't read the room well, which is why he feels so there's like so much, it feels very surface. You don't really know what the way in is with him.
Right.
But I think that, also in Florida gets a bad rap. I grew up in Florida, and there are a lot of people who are not on board with this. And, people, just like people think that California is all liberal and that everybody here is, running around with a rainbow flag and whatever it is that they say, that the ridiculous people say. Florida is not a state that is filled with everybody who is also, hating gays and queer people and the LGBTQIA plus community, Black people, brown people, women. Everybody is not pro-life. It is a diverse place. And I think that a lot of people that are there, anybody who's smart and wants to have business there has to know well enough that everybody there is not a monolith. So, you're talking, it's really weird to see how hard up he is about some of the things that he is so fixated on. But, he's trying to take America back to that place, as he said. And that place is where it is racist, sexist, you know, misogynist, everything else, you know?
Absolutely. He's like, there was no problem with the crows being black in Dumbo, and The Song of the South was a great film. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.